Hey guys, I don't even know how to start this video because I've just been feeling so bad lately, these past few weeks. And I had another video that I was going to post about therapy that I recorded, and I was just so upset about it, the video, because it's such shitty quality. Like the audio sounds so bad, the image looks so bad, I look so bad, and whatever I was saying, I was just so bothered by it that I just couldn't post it. And I've been so bothered, I've been so upset this past few weeks about therapy. And the thing about it, I'm not even upset, like, it's not even about me, like, oh, I figured something out that I'm uncomfortable with, or like, some shit. Therapy brings things up, but that's the thing, that's not even the thing that I'm upset about. It's not even about me. I'm really upset about the therapist. And I really, even though I know that I'm resistant to therapy, and I know some of the things are me resisting to what he's saying, but I just can't shake this feeling that there's something wrong, that he's doing something wrong, and I can't shake it. And it's not that type of he's doing something wrong feeling that you get when you don't like what someone is doing, when it feels wrong, but it's not wrong, it's just that you don't like it. It feels like actually wrong, like he's doing something he shouldn't be doing, he shouldn't be acting this way. And it's really, really stressing me out because I've posted the part 2 of my shitty therapist video, which is the part 2 is really good. I mean the editing, I liked it. I don't remember how I edited the first one, but like I liked the second one. But it's like just an overview of the therapists that I've gone to, and like I've had my share of bad therapists, but at this point I'm like, it's gotta be me. It's gotta be me who's doing something wrong. It's way too many people, and I can't figure out why therapy isn't working. Like, why? Why isn't it working? Like, what? Why can't I figure out how to interact with this person? Like, I don't trust him. That's That's the starter. I don't trust him. And I was trying to figure out if I just didn't want to talk about things, and that's why I was avoiding them. I was trying to figure out why I didn't trust him. And then I recall this series of things that he did, and I can't trust him after that. For example, on my second session, I got there. I remember exactly, because at the exact time that I got there and I got in front of the office, I looked at the clock and it was 6:40. I remember this very clearly because I knew that I was late because my session is 6:30. I was always checking the phone. So when I got in front of his office, I looked and it was 6:40. So I was only 10 minutes late. And he was nowhere to be found. Like, he wasn't there at all. Like, it was all dark. No one was there. I ringed in the doorbell like twice, and it was all dark, it was closed off, he wasn't there. And I waited for quite a while before leaving, so he wasn't there. And then The next session I actually didn't went because it was really hard for me. I mentioned this in my video, but it's really hard for me going to therapy after having so many bad experiences, because I just don't believe in it anymore. And it's hard for me to get myself to go. And then the second session that I go, the therapist wasn't there at all. It was really hard. So I didn't went the next week after that, and then I only went on the other one, but I called first to confirm it. And in the phone, he was already trying to play it off as if it was my fault, or as if somehow I just didn't win that day. And that he was totally there. He was totally there. And that rubbed me off so much that I almost didn't win that session, because like, I know what time it was when I got there. So unless you have a crazy strict delay policy, you can't tell me that you were there until 7, which is what he told me. That he was there until 7 and then he left. And I was like, that's not possible, because I got there 6:30. So he said that he was there up until 7, which is not true, because I checked my phone. Like, if I hadn't checked, I swear to God, I would have believed him, because I could have been really late and didn't realize. But I checked my phone as soon as I stepped out of the elevator. I knew what time it was when I got there, and he wasn't there, and it wasn't 7. So the fact that he tried to like argue with me on that by the phone very angrily, my ad, before even hearing anything about it, rubbed me off the wrong way. But I still went, because I was like, okay, maybe he just sounds really rude, but it's like how he talks, and like we can sort it out. Like, I went specifically to see if he was going to uphold that he was there to my face. I wanted to see if he was going to uphold that to my face. Why am I taking so much telling this? Oh my God. Anyway, he still maintained that he was there up until 7, and then he left, and he knew that he was there up until 7 because when he looked at the clock, when he went to a close by supermarket, it was 7, and I was like, to start, you're already contradicting yourself, because if you got there at 7, it takes at least 5 minutes to go there. It already means that you needed to have left before 7. But he was still acting as if I was mistaken and he was actually there. And I was like, you can't fake and you can't lie that you were somewhere that you weren't when I was at the same place that you claimed that you were in. You know, like, he didn't even contemplate the idea that maybe he was confused and he got the hours mixed up and just left too early without realizing. Like, he didn't even contemplated that. He just assumed that I was either mistaken or that I was confused, and he never even contemplated the idea that maybe he was wrong. Because, like, imagine if he was wrong, then he left a patient waiting for her session and never showed up. Like, I would be mortified if I did that to an actual client. He should at least have apologized just for the possibility that he may have done that. And he didn't. He just acted like I was confused and he wasn't wrong. And I was like, you know what? Fine. You know? It's whatever. I can deal with it. People make mistakes. People get confused. It happens. So that was that. And then there's this other thing, which is I don't trust anyone in general. Like, at first, I just don't trust anyone. You're not gonna see me opening up to a random stranger like face to face as easy like to a computer or to internet people, but it's not easy face to face, so you will not see me doing it. And I had said before that I don't trust anyone, and I said I don't trust you either, because he was trying to get me to tell him stuff, and I said, but I don't trust you either. And then he took it personally, like, oh, but I would never share your information with anyone. Oh, I would never, everything you say, it's between we both. I'm very professional. I'm like, it has nothing to do with you. It's like, it's me. I've said this before. Why I would say, are you taking it personal? Like, and this is such a pet peeve that I have with therapists. When they take stuff personally that clearly is not personal, like it's clearly an issue with me, and I say it out loud that it's an issue. Like, why are you taking this personally? Like, is this the person who's supposed to teach me how to handle things, when they took the opinions of someone they barely know as a personal attack? Like, the therapist is letting their insecurities take over them. Like, how can these people help? How are these people qualified? How did they graduate? And it's such a pet peeve of mine, but he did that. He took it personally, and I was like, I already said it has nothing to do with you. I already said I don't trust anyone. I even said why I don't trust anyone. Like, why are you taking this personally? It has nothing to do with you. It was such a wild thing. And I was like, fine, they're human, I'll take it. I don't like it, but I'll take it. Maybe I'm judging them too harshly. So like, fine, I'll give you that one. And then I talked about this in my unposted video, but he keeps pressuring me to talk about things. And it's not like, oh, you should talk about these things, it's good for you, so you can work on them, you know? It's like, oh my God, in this tone, in this demeanor, like, oh my God, you need to talk about it. How can we fix it if you don't talk about it? How can we fix it? We can't fix it if you don't talk about it. It's like, calm down. Like, why is he acting like that? You know? Why isn't, for me, the correct way to say this would be like, it's beneficial if you open up to me. You need to tell me things so that I can help you. But I respect it if you don't feel ready to talk about them yet. But I would like you to try to open up to me. Otherwise, this is not going to work. That's really not how he took it. He was like, oh my God, how are we gonna fix things if you don't open up, if you don't talk about it? It felt like he was almost like, get out of the office if you're not gonna talk about it. Truly, that was like, I'm not exaggerating, that was his tone of voice. He sounded like, but how are we going to fix it if you don't talk about it? You need to talk about it. How can I fix it? How can I fix it? I was like, I don't trust you enough. I don't feel comfortable talking about this. Like, why are you trying to push me into opening up? I don't know you. I don't trust you. Like, why are you taking this personally? You're supposed to be a therapist. So, like, after that, you already have a lot of bothersome things. This video is so long and I'm already so unhappy. There's all those things, and then there's the fact that he never seems to encourage me to talk about emotions. And I understand that I don't normally talk about them, but I feel like the job of a therapist should be to give their patient to talk about their emotions, you know. And he just did, what are emotions? He's just completely focused on actions, and like he doesn't talk about the emotions on anything. And then I feel like he downplays everything. Like, I get that he's trying to make me take self-responsibility for things, but the way that he's doing it is like every single traumatic, hurtful thing that I tell him, he just downplays what the person did. It's like, well, not that big of a deal, not a problem. I don't see, nope, no problem there. And then tries to make me see the person as, oh, they were just going through things. Have you thought about it this other way? And shit. And I was like, sure. But how is this relevant? You know, like, I'm not a person who has problems empathizing with people. I really don't. In fact, I think I do it too much. Like, I can easily see this person's motivations and pain behind their actions. Like, that's not a thing that I struggle with. Like, this isn't a problem. I don't have problems empathizing with people. What's the point of you trying to make me look at these people differently? You know, like, I thought the focus of this should be me. Why, when I tell you something bad, your immediate reaction and your immediate focus is on the other person and making me see them differently? Like, why isn't the focus on me? Why are you trying to, like, figure out why I see this person like that? Or trying to figure out why I see people the way I do, or why I acted the way I acted with these people. Like, why is the focus on them? And I realized that I focus a lot on other people just by seeing him focus on these people. But my question is, why are you focusing on them? Like, what are you trying to show here? Because I think that saying that he was trying to make me see that I'm focusing too much on them is giving him too much credit for foreseeing my reaction. Is way too much credit. Especially considering that whenever I tell him that I'm deeply distressed by the session, he seems completely happy and joyful. Like, yep, that's supposed to be the thing. And I was like, why are you acting like you're happy that I'm in pain right now? Because I'm not in pain because of the therapy, because of what we're discussing. I'm in pain because I'm conflicted about what you're doing. Like, it's not even about the good shit. It's about you. There is nothing good. Like, I'm not progressing in anything. I'm not like realizing. I am realizing shit just because I normally really I analyze things a lot. It's part of my personality, honestly. But like, I'm not distressed because I'm figuring shit out about my life. I'm just stressed because I can't figure out his behavior and I can't figure out why he's acting like that. And it's making me so anxious because a part of me keeps saying that, of course it's you. Of course it's because you have a problem with therapy and you're avoiding it. And of course you're seeing this problem. And then there's a part of me. This part of me completely agrees that yes, I have a problem with therapy. And yes, I'm trying to run from it. But there's this little part that's like, yeah, you have a problem, but there's something wrong with him, and I can pinpoint what it is, but that is, and you need to keep that in mind still. Like, you can't let this go yet. You need to figure out what it is, because I don't think it is just you having a problem with therapy, and that part is causing me a lot of distress. Because very little times in my life when I felt like truly instinctual that someone was doing something bad, that it was wrong. Like, in fact, what am I saying? I don't remember any time where I felt like someone was doing something bad to me, even when I couldn't pinpoint it and I was wrong about it. Like, even when I thought that and I was wrong, deep down I knew that there was more to it than I was admitting to myself. You know, even when I thought, oh, this person is doing something bad, and it turns out it wasn't quite like that, I still felt like I'm not being completely honest with myself in this situation because I want to see this person badly. And I don't feel like that right now. I'm really trying to see this in a positive light. And I just can't let go of that feeling. And it's stressing me out. But yeah, like, in light of all of those things, if it was just one of them, I could have let go. But it was just a bunch of things that happened that makes me feel that, firstly, he's not willing to take accountability for himself, like for his mistakes, for any mistakes that he might be doing. I don't feel like he is willing, just based on what he has already done. And that's not good. It's not good when you're with someone who can't admit when they make a mistake. Anyone, and especially professionals. That's the first thing. And the second thing, I feel like, because I talked about this on my part 2 therapy, shitty therapist video, that a lot of times before I was waiting for therapists to take control of the session and guide it because I didn't know what I was doing. And then later I figured out that maybe I should be taking control of it. Since they weren't, it's probably because I should be doing it. And then I come into this therapy, and the therapist not only is taking control of it, he's trying to dictate what I talk about. And when I talk about it, and what's the focus of it. And that doesn't feel right. Because, like, I feel like if you don't give your patient enough freedom to talk about whatever they want, how would they realize that they think that they're talking about isn't their real issue, like it isn't the actual problem, if you don't allow them to talk about what they feel like talking about? Like, how can they realize that it's really not that important if you don't allow them to figure that out themselves? Like, you can't just decide that something isn't important and then say that we shouldn't be talking about it for the other person. You know, that's not healthy. That's not good. It doesn't teach self-accountability and self-responsibility. It teaches you the other people know better what's wrong with you, basically. Like, if you don't let people figure out things for themselves, you're teaching them that some random stranger who doesn't know half of what you've been through is more qualified to tell you what you should be doing with your life than you are. And that's something that he himself told me that's wrong. Like, if someone's pointing you the way, don't go because it's wrong. And that's literally what he's doing. Like, I don't feel comfortable talking about what I want to talk about. I don't feel comfortable bringing up traumatic things or upsetting things because I know that he's going to spend the whole time trying to make me see these people like, oh my god, they had such a good reason to do that. And I was like, they still hurt me, they still did something shitty, even if they were hurting, like, that doesn't erase what they did. Like, why is it important why they did it? Like, they're not in my life anymore. I don't care. I need to focus on what they did, the repercussions that it had, and period. Just that. I don't need to revisit them. I don't need to revisit them. I don't need to revisit their motives. If if his whole thing is telling me that I need to take self-accountability, then fine, I got it. I got it. You made your point. I understand. How long are you going to keep doing that? Like, am I really not allowed to talk about anything regarding people being shitty to me without you always trying to make me see these people as not as responsible for it as they were? Like, is this your only angle? Because if it is, then I don't need to tell you anything, because I know what you're going to say, and it's not a new take, it's not a hot take, it's not any tea. I don't need to tell you. But we're not dealing with any of the impact that it had on me. Like, we're not dealing with anything, we're not talking about anything. I know, fine, I have some responsibility, I have to take responsibility. I don't feel like I can talk to him about bad things that happen. I don't feel like he's taking my emotions seriously. I don't even think he's focusing at all on emotions. I don't think he respects my time, my choices, and what I want to focus on. And I can't trust someone who acts like that. Like, it's so funny that when I thought the therapist should take control, literally none of them did. And then when I realized that I should be taking control of the session, then I find one that chooses to micromanage everything. Just so funny. And like, I can't trust him. I can't trust someone who acts like he's acting. It feels like he's taking this opportunity to be controlling, like to exercise his power, honestly. And he said himself, you can never fully trust anyone, which is true. But like, I hate it. And I'm going to do like an experiment, because I realize I'm not opening up, obviously, because he's giving me quite a lot of reasons to think that he's not trustworthy. So yeah, that's that, guys. I was going to post 2 videos last week, but I hated the second one, so I just posted one. I just wanted to say that thank you for watching, and if you liked, give a like and subscribe and comment, and that's